on my seat by 82%. Know this, I am going to come through on a landslide just like Trump did. Know that I will be victorious in the...
It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate.
Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and Thornton Township supervisor, has faced a significant setback in her political career. After years of navigating controversy and criticism, Henyard lost her bid for re-election as Thornton Township supervisor during a tumultuous Democratic caucus. This defeat not only signals the end of her dual-role super mayor status, but also raises questions about the future of her political trajectory. Let's delve into how this dramatic turn of events unfolded and examine its potential implications. Here's the scoop. Tiffany Henyard, known for her bold personality and controversial leadership, failed to secure her spot on the Democratic ballot for the April 2025 election. And the reason was as technical as it was decisive. In Thornton Township, candidates for the supervisor position must submit a full slate, which includes a supervisor, highway director, clerk, assessor, and 4 trustees. Henyard's slate was missing a certified assessor, automatically disqualifying her. This misstep paved the way for state senator and Thornton Township Democratic committeeman Napoleon Harris to step in and claim the nomination with a complete slate, leaving Henyard and her supporters reeling. This wasn't just a typical political loss. The caucus that determined Henyard's fate was Thornton Township's first in 30 years. Historically, the township held primary elections, but Harris opted for a caucus, a move Henyard alleges was a calculated effort to push her out. The atmosphere was charged as hundreds of people packed the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium to witness the drama. The room quickly reached its 600-person capacity, leaving many of Henyard's bussed-in supporters stranded outside in the cold. This logistical fiasco only amplified Henyard's claims of unfairness, with allegations of voter suppression adding fuel to the fire.
On how the Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing on the ballot.
But the real twist? When Napoleon Harris's name was announced as the Democratic nominee, the crowd erupted into cheers, with some breaking into the infamous "Nah, nah, hey, hey, kiss him goodbye" chant. Talk about rubbing salt in the wound. Henyard, visibly upset, stormed out of the auditorium, shouting accusations of illegality and threatening lawsuits against everyone involved. "This is illegal, Napoleon," she yelled, pointing accusingly at Harris. Her dramatic exit was met with a mix of boos and laughter, solidifying the night as one of the most humiliating moments of her political career.
What do you do tonight if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination?
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here. They're not going to go nowhere.
While Henyard's humiliation took center stage that night, the surreal atmosphere was amplified by the reactions of longtime Thornton Township residents. Many remarked they had never witnessed such chaos in local politics. For nearly 30 years, the township had been a picture of stability under Frank Zuccarelli, who held the supervisor position unopposed until his death in 2022. His passing created a power vacuum, and Henyard's controversial rise to the role brought both hope and skepticism. To some, she was a breath of fresh air in a stagnant system. To others, an outsider with questionable intentions. The caucus, they said, felt like the breaking point after months of simmering tension within the township's Democratic establishment. Outside the venue, Henyard's supporters, many of whom had been bussed in, were seen wandering aimlessly, visibly frustrated and confused. Some claimed Henyard's team had assured them that simply showing up would secure her victory. "We came all the way out here for nothing," one supporter lamented, shaking their head. "They told us this was in the bag, inside the auditorium." Harris's team maintained that the space had been at capacity hours before the caucus began, and that those left outside had simply arrived too late. The logistical mismanagement, coupled with Henyard's combative behavior, only cemented her reputation as a leader struggling with organization and effective governance.
The right way. Illegal. Napoleon.
For those unfamiliar with Henyard's rise to power, her story is one of ambition, controversy, and, according to her critics, poor leadership. Henyard was appointed supervisor of Thornton Township in 2022 following the death of longtime supervisor Frank Zuccarelli. At the time, she was already serving as mayor of Dolton, a position she secured in 2021 with over 80% of the vote. This dual role earned her the nickname Super Mayor, but it also drew sharp criticism, with many questioning whether she could effectively manage both positions. Her tenure has been marred by allegations of financial mismanagement, questionable spending, and a combative relationship with the Dolton Village Board. On the financial front, Henyard has faced years of scrutiny over her use of taxpayer funds. Reports allege extravagant spending on personal security, lavish dinners, and even flights to Las Vegas. A particularly damaging claim involves her use of township credit cards for purchases at retailers such as Amazon, Target, and Walgreens. In one instance, she reportedly spent over $43,000 on Amazon in a single day. Critics have called her spending reckless and self-serving, with these issues coming to light during a financial investigation initiated by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. The findings revealed a dramatic drop in Dolton's general fund balance, from a surplus of over $5 million in 2022 to a staggering deficit of $665 million by mid-2024. These financial woes, combined with her controversial leadership style, have cast a long shadow over her political legacy.
7 minutes. That's all it took for Tiffany Henyard to be out as the Democratic nominee for Thornton Township Supervisor, and she left here visibly upset.
It's not just Henyard's spending that has drawn scrutiny. Her leadership style has also been described as abrasive and authoritarian. At one heated village board meeting, she reportedly proclaimed, "You all forget I'm the leader. They want to hear from the mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing. They only run their mouths. You all don't do no work. No work." Such rhetoric has alienated many of her colleagues, leading to frequent clashes with trustees and local officials. Critics have accused her of leveraging her position to target political opponents, citing allegations ranging from withholding permits for park district improvements to orchestrating police raids on businesses that refused to support her. Back to the caucus drama. Henyard didn't go down quietly. In the days leading up to the event, she arranged for seniors to be bussed in using Thornton Township vehicles in an attempt to bolster her support. However, this effort spectacularly backfired when the buses arrived late, leaving many of her supporters stranded outside the packed venue. The logistical failure quickly became fodder for her detractors. Supporters were bussed in. "The bus was late. Classic Tiffany," one online commentator quipped. Critics argued that the bus was later lesh and got rid of long-standing conflict since the most popular songs had already been played. Or critics argued this blunder remarked, quote, "Lots of people live responsibility was nowhere to be found," another remarked. Now she's proving it. This latest misstep has further solidified the perception of her as a leader unable to effectively manage or organize, deepening doubts about her political future.
I've said for a while, it's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of this things started at the township, where the people were, just showing their displeasure.
Henyard's reaction to her loss has been nothing short of defiant. She has vowed to challenge the caucus results in court, claiming the process was rigged against her. "I will be suing everyone tomorrow," she declared, doubling down on allegations of voter suppression. Her attorney, Max Solomon, echoed her sentiments, arguing that the caucus rules were unfair and accusing Harris of manipulating the process to his advantage. However, election law experts have pointed out that the caucus system is entirely legal in Illinois and has been used in other townships for decades. This casts doubt on the success of any legal challenge, so what's next for Tiffany Henyard? Her options are limited. she could still run for Thornton Township Supervisor, but only as a write-in candidate, a long shot by any measure. Some of her supporters remain optimistic, with one ally stating, "I think enough people know her name to write her in, and I believe we could still win it." But the odds are increasingly stacked against her. Public frustration with her leadership has been mounting, even in Dalton, where she serves as mayor. At a recent village board meeting, residents turned their backs on her as she spoke, a symbolic gesture that underscored her declining popularity and the growing calls for change.
It's one thing to win, but let's do it properly and let the people really have a voice. The people's voice was taken today.
And then there are the ongoing investigations into her administration. The FBI is reportedly examining allegations of financial misconduct, with subpoenas issued for records related to her top aides and other village employees. Meanwhile, her cancer charity, the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, is under scrutiny for failing to register with the state and disclose how it allocates its donations. These scandals, coupled with her recent political defeat, paint a grim picture for Henyard's future in public office. As investigations continue and public trust erodes, the challenges she faces are mounting, leading many to question whether her political career can withstand the storm.
New at 10 tonight, renewed calls for a change at the top in South Suburban Dalton.
Of course, we are talking about Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
Not everyone is celebrating Henyard's downfall. Some of her supporters have accused the media and her opponents of unfairly targeting her. "Why is it always Tiffany they come after? What about the others?" one commenter asked. Others have expressed sympathy, arguing that the criticism she faces is rooted in gender bias and racial prejudice. However, these voices are increasingly overshadowed by those who view her loss as a necessary step toward restoring accountability and transparency in Thornton Township. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: Tiffany Henyard's reign as super mayor is over. Whether she can stage a political comeback remains to be seen, but for now, her critics are savoring the moment. So, what do you think? Was the caucus process fair, or was Henyard unfairly targeted? And does she have any chance of winning as a write-in candidate? Share your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned for more updates on this developing story.